What's going on guys, Gizmodict here, and this is the review of the Asus Zenfone 2 Deluxe. The Zenfone 2 Deluxe is essentially the Zenfone 2, but it comes with more internal storage and it has a different and a unique back panel compared to the Zenfone 2. Depending upon the markets, the Zenfone 2 Deluxe is available in 64, 128 or 256GB variants. The design of the Zenfone 2 Deluxe is the same as the Zenfone 2 with an all-plastic build which does not feel cheap at all. The phone has quite a heft to it which actually makes it feel sturdy and substantial in the hand. The unique feature of this phone is its back, where you have this diamond cut crystal design which looks very unique and nice in person. In fact, a lot of people did ask me about this phone while I was using it during my testing just because of this design. I did use the original Zenfone 2 before, and this one feels much more grippable and nice in the hand. Asus has followed LG's footsteps by going with a rear mounted volume rocker, which is a nice touch, but the power button is placed all the way up top, which is quite unwieldy for a 5.5-inch device. But thankfully Asus has included a double tap to wake and a double tap to sleep option so that you don't have to reach out for that power button that often. All in all, the build quality of the Zenfone 2 Deluxe is very good for the price, and I did like this textured back a lot on the phone. Internally, the Zenfone 2 Deluxe has the same specifications as the top of the line Zenfone 2 variant. The only difference is that the original Zenfone 2 had 32GB of built-in storage and 64GB of expandable storage, whereas the Zenfone 2 Deluxe has 64, 128 or 256GB internal storage and the expandable storage is up to 128GB. Apart from that, we have the same Intel Z3580 64-bit chip, 4GB of RAM and NFC. The specifications sound very good on paper, and in real-world usage, the Zenfone 2 holds up just fine with everything you throw at it. I had no problems in my normal usage and multitasking was a breeze, thanks to the 4GB RAM on board. All the intensive games and apps also ran very well on the phone, but initially while playing Nova 3, I did face some lags on the phone. On researching a bit, I found out that under battery settings, there is a performance mode which you can enable while doing intensive tasks, and after enabling that, the game ran very smoothly. But apart from Nova 3, all the other games ran perfectly fine in the balanced battery mode. I did find that the phone heated up quite a bit after 10 to 15 minutes of heavy gaming, but it is not anything major and the phone cools down pretty fast. So overall, the Zenfone 2 is a very good performer in the hardware department. A good spec sheet needs an equally good software to have the best user experience, and this is where the Zenfone 2 lags behind. Currently it runs on Android 5.0 Lollipop, so all those early Lollipop bugs are still there on this phone. We have Asus's custom Zen UI running on this phone, and it comes with a lot of pre-installed apps. The amount of Asus applications is too much on this phone, but the good thing is that they update directly from the Play Store without the requirement of any software update. The UI looks decent, but I'm not a fan of these square icons on the stock launcher. You do have themes on the Zenfone, which is a nice way to customize the phone, but I personally use Nova Launcher with an icon pack on any device that I test. The one-hand mode, which has been there on Asus devices since the first generation of Zenfone series, is very useful because you can shrink the screen down and easily use it with one hand. The UI is swift and smooth, and I have never faced any lags or slowdowns. But Asus seriously needs to cut down on their bloatware, and they should rather work more on the updates and release them quickly. I personally feel that the Zenfone 2 would have been a much better experience if Asus had just gone with stock Android. The camera on the Zenfone 2 Deluxe is a 13-megapixel shooter with a dual LED flash, and the front-facing camera sports a 5-megapixel sensor. The Asus camera app is great because it offers a lot of modes and features, including a full manual mode to tweak your pictures the way you want to. The focusing is not very fast, but it gets the job done. In terms of image quality, the Zenfone 2 does a fair job. Images in daylight look nice, but the colors are a bit oversaturated. I also found that the camera was leaning towards a warmer tone in photos, but I could easily get that fixed by using the manual mode. The low light photos did have a lot of noise in them, but Asus has this low light mode which takes a 3 megapixel photo and it does a decent job in very dimly lit situations. I am playing a few samples on the screen right now so that you guys can judge it for yourselves. The Zenfone 2 has a 5.5-inch 1920 by 1080p IPS display with a pixel density of 401. The display is like any other standard 1080p panel and it has acceptable viewing angles. It does not get that bright in daylight and it has a yellowish tone to it. But thankfully Asus has included their Splendid app which lets you tweak each and every aspect of this display. So I did adjust it quite a bit to get the proper colors and then I had no problems in using the phone. The 1080p resolution is sharp enough and while the display is not going to blow your mind away, it is a very good one for the price. The Zenfone 2 has dual SIMs and support for 4G LTE. The phone accepts micro SIM cards and the network reception and call quality was fine. The 3000 mAh battery does an okay job and gets me through a full working day. Actually the battery should last much longer, but there is this huge Android OS battery drain which is ruining the battery life. Even with that drain, I could reach to about 4 hours of screen on time, so imagine how good the battery would be without it. You do get various battery modes to save power, and the Zenfone 2 has fast charging which will let you go from 0 to 60% in less than 40 minutes. So the battery life, while decent, does have a scope for improvement if Asus concentrates on fixing the software issues. Overall, the Zenfone 2 was a good device to use. It competes directly with the OnePlus 2, and while the latter is better in a lot of aspects, the Zenfone 2 has NFC and fast charging which the OnePlus 2 doesn't, and given the invite rollout of OnePlus 2 right now, I can see a lot of people consider getting the Zenfone 2. So if you are thinking to get one for yourself, I hope that you are able to make your decision now. This was my review of the Asus Zenfone 2 Deluxe. Do like and share the video if you liked it, and subscribe for more upcoming reviews. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.